side of the values that I think we all support, and that is that we want our population to be healthy and safe and a clean environment. So no one has championed these causes for many, many years as much as my colleague, Louise Slaughter. She's, as many of you know, a native of Harlan County, Kentucky. She's been in Congress for 27 years. She's the only woman to serve as chair of the Rules Committee. She's still the ranking Democrat on that committee. She has done extraordinary work over her career. She's co-authored the Violence Against Women Act. She's worked to reduce sexual assault in the military. She's been a fierce advocate for the arts in the community, and as chair of the Congressional Arts Caucus. And she's responsible for the landmark Genetic Non-Discrimination Act legislation. She is an incredibly determined person in general, and her passion to do something about mountaintop removal mining is unmatched. So it was with great pride that I introduced you, Louise Slaughter.
Thank you, John. You really have a jewel here. I look back at so many wonderful people that have sent here to represent Kentucky, and John is a giant among them all. If people wonder why he cares about it,
the giant.
yeah, okay. If anybody wonders why he cares about it in Louisville, you must wonder why I care about it in Rochester, New York. Dennis Kucinich and I carried this bill. He was from Ohio because, frankly, before John got here, Kentuckians weren't that interested in it. When I was first elected, they said, oh, good, Kentucky has a ninth member at this time to help us with tobacco. The reason that I care so much is I remember to this day, I was 5 years old when we left Richmond, Kentucky, but I remembered everything about it. 10 years ago, we went back, and I remembered all of the buildings and everything that had happened there, and what my father borrowed $80 from a friend so that we could move away into the middle of Kentucky. It was just seared on my mind. It is. I also corresponded a lot when I first got here with one of the most famous authors, I think, from Kentucky, Harry Caudle. I'm sure all of you have read his books and you know about him. Harry was so concerned about the broad form deed, which allowed people who own mineral rights in your house, your lot, your cemetery, your trees, whatever, to come in and gouge it out any way they could. And something that Harry said that has stuck with me forever is that the Kentucky State Legislature would repeal the 10 Commandments before they touched the broad form deed. But that was only part of it. But health was terribly important to me then. And I really do think that one of the reasons that I went into, I would have gone to medical school, but women couldn't do it way back then. I'm older than dirt, so you know, I've been through all that. But I have a degree in microbiology and a master's in public health, and I think in many ways because of Kentucky. It breaks my heart to know what's happened there. Now, I'm really proud of my mountain heritage. I want to get that on the books here. I broke my leg a year ago by falling in a hole in New York City because I'm the klutz of the Northeast. And I healed up so fast that it was absolutely astonishing to everybody around. And I said, look, if you come from generations of people who walk mountains to go visit their family and announce their arrival by yelling about a half mile away, we're built to last. We are pretty hardy people. But this is something that cries out to be done. Whether we can do anything with this House of Representatives, this bill this year, I simply don't know. It's very hard to crack that code, but we will never stop trying. It is long past time. The damage done to human beings and to their spirit, and the early deaths, watching people coughing up their lungs with black lung disease, seeing what happened to people who really were expendable in many ways. They grew up, the only thing they could do was work in the mines. When I first came here, one of the congressmen from Kentucky used to bring up the gifted and talented children from Harlan County. And they worked 2 years simply to raise the money to get here. And I had a chance to meet with him. He was nice enough to ask me to talk to them. We'd always go into a room with a portrait of Henry Clay, some great Kentuckians, and I'd talk to them about, look, what you can do. and always said to them, for goodness sakes, forget about Kresge's other minds who are smarter than that. You can do more than that. I used to practically make them give me a pledge that they would try to do everything they could, find something else to do. But to be the daughter of a Kentucky coal miner, and to know what has happened to that place that we loved, and to know what it's done environmentally, in addition to what it has done to the human spirit and to the health of the human beings who work there, because many times there are no other jobs, weighs on my mind very seriously, and I am absolutely committed, again, to get this done. And what we have to do first, John, is take over the House of Representatives, and we need all your votes to do that. We are really working with some people here who don't believe in science at all. It doesn't matter to them. The planet, they think, is 5,000 years old, and we all ran around with dinosaurs. Evolution is absolutely beyond the pale. That is not anything that is believable. As a microbiologist, that always troubled me, and I broke my leg at the very time I had an opportunity to explain evolution. And I couldn't wait to do it. I wanted to get up there in the Rules Committee to do it, but I was laid up. But the best example of evolution, and I think we should all use it, is there's a bacterium called Staphylococcus aureus, which is all over everything and everybody, and always was. And it never caused us any harm. Maybe you get a cold every now and then from it under some circumstances, but it was not a serious threat. It was just part of life. But it has evolved in the past 10 or 12 years into a thing called MRSA, M-R-S-A, that can kill you now in 18 to 24 hours. That's one example of what we have done to the earth, what we're doing to our health. All the studies that we ever need about what happens with mountaintop removal, and as John said, what happens with orange water, we have them all. We have them all. We have to do the mammoth job, and it takes a public uprising to do it. I'm so proud of everything all of you are doing. I am proud to be a part of what you're doing. We will not give up. We will not flag. We owe it to the generations of people before us, and certainly we owe a better life to the generations to come. Thank you for letting me be with you today. I appreciate it very much, and God bless. Let's all get to work. But don't ever forget that in 2014, the first obligation of a citizen is to go out and vote and give us a House of Representatives and knows how to read. Thank you very much.